We're nearly 1 week into a partial government shutdown, and right now there's no end in sight. President Trump has blamed the situation on Democrats. Both chambers of Congress convened briefly on Thursday, but took no steps to end the shutdown. An impasse over border wall funding has caused many national parks and monuments to close throughout the country. But luckily for some holiday travelers, not all of them will be closed this weekend. Laurel Rematore is the Chief Executive Officer of the Great Smoky Mountains Association. She joins me now from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Laurel, thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
So first of all, tell us what your organization does and why you say it's so important to keep the Great Smoky Mountains open during the shutdown.
So Great Smoky Mountains Association is an educational nonprofit partner of the National Park Service here in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And the way that we fulfill our mission is to operate the educational bookstores in the park's visitor centers. And this is an extremely busy time of year for Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The period between Christmas and New Year's, the visitation level in the park rivals what we see in the month of July, which is the busiest month in the year. Yes, people come here for their holiday vacations. It's very easy to access the park. It's adjacent to large communities. So we know that the visitors are going to be here in the park, and it's very important that we give them the information that they need so that they can have a safe and pleasant visit.
And Laurel, how does the Great Smoky Mountains National Park help the local economy there?
So the studies that the National Park Service have done indicate that the presence of the park supports almost 14,000 jobs in the communities surrounding the park. And the presence of the park generates over $900 million a year for this tourism economy. And certainly all of the surrounding communities are based on a tourist economy.
And so it's interesting because people seem to really value parks. A Philadelphia tourism group donated $32,000 to help the Independence National Historic Park reopen for the weekend. I'm wondering, have you received similar donations? How will your park remain open during the shutdown?
So my organization actually donated funds from our proceeds for the year. We donated funds to the National Park Service so that they could help us staff the 3 major visitor centers in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So we are paying for the rangers to stand behind the information desks and to clean the restrooms and pick up the trash. And that also allows us to operate our educational bookstores in the visitor centers. We know from past shutdowns that people are going to be making their way into the park and they're going to want information. And we just felt it was vitally important to have those resources available to people.
And so, you know, the question I have is, how long are you going to be able to sustain that? Because there's no, I mean, it looks like there's no solution forthcoming anytime soon out of Washington. How long do you think that parks like yours are going to be able to stay open right now?
Right. So we were able to scrape together funding to help the visitor centers operate for a total of 11 days. Well, one day was December 25th was the Christmas closure. Traditionally, the visitor centers that's the only day of the year that the visitor centers are closed. So we provided funding to operate the 3 major visitor centers from December 22nd through January 1st, 2019. And after that, the visitor centers will close. We know that our visitation will drop off in the park, and it's not financially sustainable for us to try to contribute money to keep staffing the information desks and the visitor centers after that, just due to low visitation. And I just want to stress that it's really only a stopgap measure. Just because we have rangers standing behind the information desk or cleaning the restrooms doesn't mean that the management of the park is happening. This is the time of year when road crews are planning their work for the next year. There's trails to be maintained. There's research to be done. So the business of managing the park is not happening. We're really just providing services so that visitors can have a safe and informed experience.
Well, hopefully visitors will learn more about that and potentially let Washington know that they, in fact, value those services and the educational opportunities that national parks afford people. Laurel Rematore.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Laurel.
Thank you.